The first steps are always the most important, and when it comes to substance abuse recovery, finding the right place to help people get back on their feet and take charge of their life can be overwhelming. First Steps Recovery wants to help people on that journey with their substance abuse treatment program. Community outreach leader Sean Charters McChesney is here to share more on how the First Steps Recovery program works. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
We're doing really well. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you on the show. You have your own personal experience to share. Tell us what brought you to recovery.
My journey in recovery started almost 4 years ago. Actually, on the 24th of this month, it will be 4 years. And that is a crazy story that's better suited for off air. But what I will say is I reached this place of hopelessness, a feeling that all addicts experience. It's an inevitable feeling, in my opinion. But what I will say is that I had someone to call. So I picked up the phone and help that I needed. But what brought me to recovery in the sense of treatment was a profound realization that I had regarding how impactful it is to be the person that answers the phone, to be the person that helps the suffering addict get to a place of hope and long-lasting sobriety.
So talk
For
about,
me, it's
oh, go ahead.
it's not just professional, it's personal. I'm completely in it, and that's why I'm here.
All right. So can you talk about the recovery landscape? What does that look like right now?
Definitely. This last year has been extremely difficult for everyone. One thing that I like to touch on is how the CDC reports on both opiates as well as chronic alcoholism. When we look at opiate addiction, for example, from 1998 to 2018, over the last 2 decades, nearly 450,000 people have died due to an opiate-related overdose. When we shift gears to chronic alcoholism, 95,000 people die per year. And that breaks down to around 261 people per day. That being said, is we are no strangers to a pandemic. Similarly, with what we're looking at with COVID-19, we've all been forced into an isolated environment. To keep everyone safe, there's social distancing and periodic shelter-in-place orders. And that being said, that isolation exacerbates what individuals experience with substance use disorder. It's been extremely difficult for me, and it's even harder for those that are new and our clients that are coming into treatment.
Yeah, it sounds like there's some extra challenges because of the pandemic. So what's your role there at First Steps? Can you tell us about it?
Definitely. My role at First Steps, technically speaking, is community outreach, which means a variety of different things. What it can be narrowed down to is that anyone, anywhere, at any time can call me, and I'll be there to answer the phone. I'll be there to answer the phone, get someone into treatment, regardless of what day it is or what time it is. I'm always here.
And what does it mean that you offer a full continuum of care?
A full continuum of care essentially means that we are here to guide an individual suffering from substance use disorder through every step of the process to achieve long-lasting sobriety that's sustainable. So what that means is a medical detox, and it transitions all the way down to our outpatient programs as they re-enter their lives.
And that staying sober is definitely the goal. How does First Steps help people once they leave treatment?
Definitely. Once they leave treatment and get through medical detox as well as gender-specific residential, they would step down and go back into their normal lives. They would either transition to a sober living environment or they would transition back to their homes. And from there, in our partial hospitalization program, we would continue to offer process groups 6 hours a day like we do in residential care. They would still meet with the therapists that we have on staff, and then they would continue to transition down to our intensive outpatient or outpatient program until they've completed the entire continuum of care. Once that's done, we offer alumni groups in which everyone connects for as long as they would like to attend, and we continue to offer those support groups.
Well, I think that support's really important, Sean. Now tell us, who can go to First Steps?
Definitely. We do serve 18 and older, but essentially anyone can go. This disease, just as what we see with COVID-19, there are no socioeconomic limits. It does not discriminate. There are no borders or boundaries. And that being said, is professionals, young adults, older adults, anyone who needs help can come to our facility.
And Sean, tell us, what do you see for the coming year for recovery first steps and addiction?
Definitely. So, the way that I look at it is that this disease has been rampant since man first crushed grapes. And that being said, is there's no end in sight to the suffering. So we are committed to staying. We are committed to offering clinical excellence, a full continuum of care that will help not only lead someone to hope, but help rebuild someone's lives and support sustainable sobriety.
Well, this is some valuable information, and hopefully the right people get the help that they need. Thanks for coming on the show today. And for more on their substance abuse treatment program, you can visit firststepsrecovery.com.
This interview involves commercial content. The products and services featured appear as paid advertising.